everyone. So as you know, I'm always asking you guys to send in ideas of videos you want, and I received a DM on Twitter the other day from a girl saying she'd really like one on this subject, and that is body confidence. If you've been a subscriber for a while, you'll know I did a video on confidence, but this one's going to be concentrating more specifically on body confidence. I did and ah about posting this because it's such a vast topic, and it's a bit of a minefield in terms of you know, saying the right thing and not upsetting anyone or being unfair, or well, I'm not medically trained on any of these things. This is purely me just giving my opinions, personal experience and stuff like that. So I just wanted to start with that disclaimer, just in case I say something that some of you don't agree with, or perhaps isn't the right way to say something. If I'd filmed this video a few weeks ago, it would have been quite different, because I was in a frame of mind where my image really wasn't on my mind. I was feeling quite free about things. Not worrying about, you know, my body, how it's looking or anything, just because I was generally in a happier place. And my skin was clear because of holiday, and my skin is something that always kind of is a barometer for how confident I am. If I'm having a good skin period, then I generally am feeling more happy and confident. And if I'm having loads of breakouts, I literally turn into a hermit, don't want to leave the house, don't open the curtains, anything like that. So yeah, I was in an okay place because I'd come back from holiday, my skin was okay. Some people made some comments because I have gained some weight. I'm not overweight, in fact I'm probably just in the normal category now, but they had noticed I gained weight, and I think it just put a spotlight on that a bit for me. And that was fine. I was happy that I was in the normal category. It's good not to be underweight, and so that was good, but I think it made me think about my body a bit more. And then someone very close to me said that they thought I needed to start going to the gym and work on my fitness. And at first I was a little bit upset about that, because I thought they were telling me that I looked, you know, wobbly or out of shape or whatever. And then I realised they actually had said the right thing. They are right. My body isn't strong. I find it quite hard to do things that shouldn't be hard, because I'm lacking muscle and I'm lacking just general fitness. So they were right, and and that leads me on to what I really wanted to talk about next, and that was, I've just come back from a girls' holiday. And the age range from early 20s to early 30s, and we actually got into a discussion about our bodies because we were all in our bikinis, you know, everything was visible, and we were just talking about, you know, how we feel about our bodies, and we're all completely different shapes and sizes. Some have massive boobs, some have very petite boobs, some are very petite figures, some are very fit figures, some are curvy, all sorts. And we all just spoke very openly about how we felt when we were younger as opposed to how we are now. And for a lot of the people in their later 20s, they kind of said that they'd almost found peace with the body they have, that kind of, they come round to it, that they accepted it and embraced it a bit more, and it wasn't all consuming, it wasn't something that they stressed about or worried about. Whereas in their early 20s and their teens, they would be a bit more obsessive about it, a bit more critical about it. And I think that's true for a lot of my friends. I don't know whether it's because you've got more things to worry about when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, or whether priorities change, or whether you just realise, actually, I'm not too bad. Let's not waste our years worrying about it. I don't know what it is, but that definitely does change for a lot of people. So if you're in your teens or early 20s and you're still feeling like this body isn't quite right for you, or you're feeling a bit awkward about it, or you're very critical of it, sometimes you do just grow out of that and just begin to accept what you've got and realise that actually it's all right. Obviously this isn't the case for everyone though, and that's the whole thing with body image. It's not a one rule fits all thing. We all have different relationships with our bodies, and and the correct path for kind of working on that relationship is different. But my point was that while we were having this discussion, me and the girls, we were complimenting each other and saying what we liked about each other's bodies and what we maybe didn't like about ourselves, or wish in an ideal world were bigger or smaller or tighter or whatever. And we kind of realised that it's natural to have that grass is greener type of thing. We'll look at someone else and go, oh, I love, you know, how skinny her ankles are or how firm her boobs look, and then someone else will be like, well, I think you've got beautiful skin or a really cute butt or whatever. And just being around the right people that are kind of supportive and embrace you and your individual self is a really important step to body confidence. Because if you think about how you think about your body, first of all, if it is a negative view, ask yourself whether that's accurate, and perhaps there are things that could be done in terms of exercise or healthy eating or whatever. Or ask yourself whether you're being really hard on yourself and being overcritical, because I imagine a huge percentage of you are being ridiculous and being over analytical and being overcritical about your own body. If that's not it, think about whether there's someone or people in your life that have made you feel like that about your body. Because after that holiday and being around some really supportive, really confidence boosting women, it really reminded me of how important it is to have those people in your life, those people that, you know, help you feel good about yourself. And now I'm not talking about the yes people, the people that tell you you're fabulous and wonderful even when you're not. These are the people that are real with you. They're the ones that will tell you if perhaps, you know, you need to hit the gym like the guy did in my life, or they tell you that you look fabulous, or that, you know, you've got a great arse, or you look lovely in that dress. Think about the people you surround yourself. If they leave you feeling crap about yourself or tell you that you're ugly or whatever, really see if you want them in your life, because you shouldn't have these people in your life, or you should tell them that it's not okay for them to speak to you like that or make you feel like that. It's funny, when I think about my confidence, I've never been hugely confident, because when I was growing up I was very skinny. I had bones jutting out, bulging in places I didn't want them to bulge, just very angular, I guess. And then I became a teenager and the lumps and the curves came in, but I still had skinny legs, and so I still used to get, you know, the twiggy comments and, oh, she'd break if you got with her, that sort of thing. So I was still a bit, I don't know, not in love with my body. But the thing I really remember is how I'd wear an outfit, come downstairs, an outfit that was kind of trendy at the time but perhaps not parent friendly. And I'd come down and my mum would be like, oh, that doesn't suit you, or that does nothing for you. And I remember instantly feeling that sinking feeling, and then for the rest of the day feeling like I looked unattractive. And I think, although my mum would hate to think that had an effect, a long-lasting effect, it definitely did. And I think what people say to you when you're growing up, and particularly in those impressionable teenage years, can really have an effect on how you feel and respond to your body even as an adult. So if you are someone that's inclined to be brutally honest with people about their look, just think about whether you're being a helpful friend, or whether you're just being a bit rude and overly honest, because it can have a dangerous impact. And just be one of those people that compliments your friends and make sure that you make them feel good about themselves, because it really does make a bit of difference to how they feel. Talking about the whole awkwardness about your body when you're a teenager or early 20-something, I think this is kind of worsening, because we have the Kendall Jenners of this world and the celebrities and Instagram famous people that are teenagers yet look like they're 25. They're wearing these really sexy clothes. They've got these figures that are almost cartoony in their voluptuousness, and you know, they just look unreal. I know if I was a teenager and looking at the body I had at that age, I would have been like, well, I don't look like that, what's wrong with me? And I think we've almost got unfair and unrealistic goals these days. Goals, you know, Instagram goals. And I think that's got to be having an effect on the teenagers today, who have very normal teenage bodies but think that they're not normal because they're comparing themselves to these Hollywood or Instagram famous kind of unusual human specimens. You know, it's okay to have that awkward phase. That's totally normal. And in a way, I think it's healthy to go through those phases where you are awkward with your body and then you come to get to know it, because those 20s, those early 20s in particular, are the years where you're learning about everything in life. You know, relationships, your own personality, your own opinions. So of course you're also gonna change your relationship with your body as well. I think I was pushed further to make this video because I've seen some videos popping up on YouTube lately with some other YouTubers revealing the news they're having boob jobs. And I have nothing against this. I think if you've got the money and it's something you really want to do, and it's an issue that really affects your confidence on a day-to-day basis, then this is your decision, it's your body, you have to do what you want to do. But I left a comment on one saying, you know, in my eyes you're beautiful and you don't need this, but it is your decision and I support you with that. And that's the thing, millions of people can tell you that you look great, but if you don't feel it, or if you feel that there's something not right for you, then it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. I guess what's important is, if you're having the thoughts that you do want to do something surgery wise with your body, that should really be the last resort. If you can get yourself to a place where you don't feel you need it anymore, then that's obviously a better thing to do, because surgery always has a risk and there's no guarantee that after the surgery you're suddenly going to be this confident person. Obviously for some people it works brilliantly, but for others they just find something else that they don't like about themselves to concentrate on. There is something that you think, okay, I need to get that fixed. First of all, try everything else. Work on yourself, look at the people you surround yourself with, try and embrace the things that you do like about yourself rather than concentrating on, you know, that bit that you've never liked. I guess my main worry with this is, when I was younger, someone having a boob job, it was a big deal, it was talk of the town. These days it's almost becoming normalised just because it's so commonly reported in the newspapers and the magazines and Instagram and now on YouTube. And if you think about it, the next generation, they're going to grow up, one, thinking it's quite normal and everyday to get surgery, and two, they'll look at all these people on Instagram, on YouTube, in the magazines, and they will have these lifted, augmented, enlarged or reduced or perfected boobs, look at their own natural, perfectly normal boobs and think that they don't look the same or they don't measure up. And they're going to think that there's something wrong with them. And this really worries me, because the more people that have plastic surgery, the less normal, natural look, the less normal, natural bodies they'll have to look at, and it's just gonna breed, basically. We're gonna end up with a generation that are gonna feel intensely insecure unless they have this modified body, and I just feel very sad for future generations because of the pressure they're going to be under. So I think it's very important, while we still can, to show them what normal bodies are, and the scale that goes from, like, normal is such a huge bracket, there's so many different normals in there, boobs look so very different, nipples look so very different, vaginas look so very different, penises look very different, everything basically. So if yours doesn't look like one person that you deem is perfection, that doesn't mean you're not normal. It doesn't mean that you're not nice, okay? This was the bit I was really worried about talking about, because I really didn't want people that have had plastic surgery or considering plastic surgery to take it in a negative way. In fact, some of my closest friends have had plastic surgery and I've supported them 100%, and even one of my best friends this week has told me she's getting her baps done. So all I'm saying is that I don't want people to see it as the first response to, you know, their issue with the body confidence, or that it's the easy option. I want them to consider the other options first before plumping for the surgery option. That's all I'm saying. To be honest, I look at these when the bra's off and I think they could do with a bit of but I'm trying to just deal with it and just accept them, but we'll see. If, like me, you have fluctuated over the years, like they've gone from E to B to C to D to, at the moment I think they're about a D, but because of that change of weight and size, they're not really perky anymore. They look a little bit sad, and I've never liked them anyway. I don't like my nips or anything, so I've always been a bit self-conscious about them. But yeah, at the moment I'm refraining from any sort of medical help, but who knows how you'll feel in the future. And it's not just a girl thing. I know I've been speaking to some boys lately, and their response when the film Magic Mike comes up into conversation, their whole demeanour changes and their mood changes, and I think they're almost a bit threatened by it because they see how us girls, or many of us girls, react to, you know, the scenes from the film or the posters or just talk of the film in general, and they presume that that means that that's the type of body we want for our partner, that's the type of body that we find attractive, and that's it. There's no movement there, that's all we want, and that's not the case. We're into all different types of bodies, and it's not even about the body. Sometimes you're just attracted to someone and they could have something very different to the stereotypical fit bloke body. You know, they did a poll recently, I was watching on the telly, that dad bods, which is that slightly, used to be toned but has now got a layer of chub over the top, is actually the most popular body type for women. We don't need that chiseled look. Everyone's into different things, and I know for me at least, the body isn't the first thing I'm looking at all, and it's the guy that makes me laugh that's usually got a head start for me, as cliche as that sounds. Another thing about the whole willy size thing, I think because of porn and because of how us girls sometimes joke about, you know, willy size and stuff, they presume that we're all looking for that, you know, that Subway baguette, that schlong, that dong, and when us girls get together and actually speak honestly about it, that is far from what we're looking at. We're not that fussed about that, so guys, really don't fret about that either. God, it must be so scary for guys the first time they reveal it to girls, if they've got that in their heads that that's what we're looking for. I think porn has a lot to answer for actually, because I think girls are probably self-conscious about, you know, their bits and bobs too, because in porn a lot of the women have those very neat vaginas, you know, all the flaps are very tucked in, hair free, whatever, and the reality is they're very different. We're all made very different ways, and I think we're worried that guys are going to think that ours isn't normal because it doesn't look like that, or they're not going to like it, that we're not normal, but we're all normals, we're just all different types of normal. So if you have stubble rash from shaving, that's fine. If you've got a weird freakishly long hair that seems to spurt out of nowhere, that's fine. If your flaps are a little uneven, that's fine. If your clit's a little long or a little short, that's fine. You know, if your mouth's a little bit more protruding than someone else's, that's fine too. Just don't. It just makes me so upset that so many people's lives are marred by how they feel about their body, and it holds them back so much, whether it be from enjoying their relationships or even getting relationships, just even leaving the house or socialising. And it's so unfair that we're in a really tough era for this because of the so many pressures from social media and, you know, photoshopping and porn and all that sort of stuff. I think it's harder than it's ever been, so we've got to try that little bit harder to kind of almost ignore what we see on there and just remember, you know, what is actually normal. Another cliche is that just being happy within yourself and the person you are will then reflect on your body image, but I think it's true. When I'm feeling confident, perhaps things are going well at work, or I'm in a really great relationship and feeling like I've got some great friends around me, I know that I'm caring less about my body and how it's looking, which isn't necessarily a good thing because we want to be taking care of it, but I mean, I'm not obsessing over it in a negative way. So I say always still work on the core of you and the things that make you happy and the things that make you feel good about yourself, because it will then filter out to the other bit. What does get to me is how judgmental some people can be about others people and their looks. If they see someone that's overweight, they instantly, well, not everyone, but some instantly think, oh, they must be lazy. But we don't know what's going on in that person's life. They might have a medical condition that makes it really hard for them to lose weight, or on medication that makes them put on weight. They might have a mental condition that affects how they perceive how they look, or perhaps affects their ability to do something about it, affects their ability to go to the gym or find that motivation to go to the gym. And I think mental things has a lot to do with body confidence, because people I know that have gone through eating disorders, you know, you can tell them a million times that they look fabulous and they look great and they're beautiful, but they don't believe you and they don't see it. So just saying, you know, snap out of it, it's not gonna do the job. They need to really work on themselves and see someone and get medical attention. It's not as easy as just eat more and snap out of it. So before you make these quick judgments about people and their bodies, just take a moment to just think about, you know, perhaps what else might be going on for them. Another reason why this video came at a good time was because I had to post a bikini shot on my Instagram this week, and I can't tell you how much I agonised over that. I had to do it because I was working with a brand and they needed an Instagram shot. So yeah, it was first of all, it's absolutely cringy to ask one of your mates who isn't into blogging or YouTubing or whatever to take a picture of you in your bikini, because that just feels really cringe. I don't know why. Just, yeah, take a picture of me like posing. And then just posting it, I was just terrified about what people would say or what they would think of me. On the whole, everyone was really super lovely, but I did get a couple of comments that were not so lovely, and I actually ended up deleting one from one bloke because he picked up on a flaw that I'm really self-conscious about, and I didn't want everyone to see it and then go, oh yeah, he's right actually, she does a whatever. So I deleted that, and I'm annoyed. I felt I needed to do that. I should have just remained strong, but it's quite scary putting your body out there in that way. So to find my happiness with my body, I'm going to start working out a bit more. I think because of my health issues with chronic fatigue syndrome and stuff, I fell out of love with my body a bit because I was angry at it because it's been acting out, it hasn't been functioning properly, so I was a bit mad at it. So I almost stopped putting in the effort to look after it, and it can show, because friends will tell you that my cellulite on my bum and my legs is pretty bad. Like, I can literally touch it and I create those bubbles. And my arms, there's like no muscle there whatsoever, and I can't lift things. I had to get my friend Lauren to put my suitcase up in the in the airplane the other day. So I'm going to start looking after it a bit more, maybe introduce a few more veggies into my diet, a bit less shake away Maltesers, and just, whether it's just go for walks, do a bit of yoga, just introduce a bit more, just so I feel like I'm looking after it a bit more, and hopefully I'll fall in love with it a bit more as well. I think I rambled on it a lot. I feel like this is a subject that needs further talk. I've only really scratched the surface. But if any of this stuff rings true for you, or whether you're struggling, feel free to ask any questions or tell me your story. I'd always love to hear from you. All I'm saying basically is, if there's things that we can improve on and we think capable of improving on in terms of looking after a body, we should do them. If it's all in our heads, or because of the people we surround ourselves with, we've got to work on that or change that. We've got to kind of be a bit more blinkered to the stuff that's trying to infiltrate our brain from celebrity and from social media, and just try and get some perspective on it. And we've just got to be less judgmental about other people and just try and help people rather than hinder their progress. So yeah, I don't know if this is a video I should ask for likes, because it's not really an entertainment video, but please comment below, and I'd love your input. Speak soon.